Alrighty, everyone. Now, let me just make sure everything you can hear me. I'm assuming, and everything's working. I'm just trying to double check because I was just on another live stream on a different channel, and so just getting things set up here and making sure that everything's reworking. You can hear me?
No, I'm deaf.
Oh, you can hear me. All right, we're back. Two more episodes. You only got one more after tonight to put up with me. And you'll probably be like, thank God I do not have to deal with that anymore. Jeez. Number 20 down to number 11 tonight. We're going to talk about some of the bestest games of all time. And a common thread I have in this group of 10 is like I have my game that was number 3 last year, number 4, number 7. So, like, I have some that were in the top 10 last year that fell down just a little bit into this group.
I've got a couple like that as well, but I've also got 4 new games in this group.
Wow. Wow. Games you must really, really like. But before we get to tonight's 20 to down to 11, we're going to talk about last week's to catch everyone up and give everyone a chance to get the link that we're live and going forward. And I have to turn on the chat because we do have someone in the chat today already. Private Public is here, loud and clear. Nice. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. Good to see you in the chat. All right, let's talk about last week. Last week was 30 down to 21. So my number 30 was Arkham Horror, the card game, which I'm sure we're going to talk about probably next Sunday.
I'll swallow comments on that for now. My number 30 is Bullet Heart and Bullet Star.
My number 29 was Descent first and second editions.
Mine was Night Fighter Ace.
My number 28 was Lock and Load Tactical.
Star Wars, The Clone Wars, Pandemic.
My number 27 was Role Player.
My number 27 kept us in the Star Wars world with Star Wars Outer Rim.
My number 26 is Payoff Pitch Baseball.
Mine kept us in space again for Twilight Inscription.
My number 25 is a game I'm surprised it's not on your list, is Lost Ruins of Arnak.
Mine actually gave us a little break from space as we went boxing with Title Bout 2.
Great game. My number 24 was a medium heavyweight Euro, which is right there on my floor still because I can't find a spot to put it. It is Galactic Cruise.
My number 24 takes us back into space for Zaya, Legends of a Drift System.
My number 23 was my number one game of all time 5 years ago when I first started doing this list, Dominion.
My number 23 was Marvel Champions, the card game.
My number 22 was Payday / Sports Illustrated / data-driven football. They're all the same system, just slight variations on it, but different names.
My number 22 is Mansions of Madness by Fantasy Flight.
And my number 21 was Earth.
My number 21 was Call to Adventure, the Stormlight Archive.
All right, and I think you get to start this week.
I do indeed with my number 20.
Oh, you know what? I didn't, hang on. My apologies. I forgot to set up the links because, just give me a second. All right. Okay, sorry.
Probably also be helpful to share your screen so people can see what games we're babbling about.
Okay.
My number 20 game is down 7 spots on my list. It's also been the playing game for the last 2-3 years that I've run the Summer of Lovecraft in the channel. And this one is Pandemic Reign of Cthulhu by Z-Man Games. Now, I've talked before about try looking for just Reign of Cthulhu. Let's make sure we get the right game up.
Reign of Cthulhu?
That's the one. So this one, you might have seen in the box art, but it is Pandemic Reign of Cthulhu. It's a pandemic system game, so once again, the code of paint is very important in this game. So you're moving around in this one, picking up the cities in the Lovecraft in the Cthulhu mythos. You've got Arkham, Dunwich, Innsmouth, and Kingsport. You've got a sequence of ancient ones that all sequentially make the game worse until you eventually wake up Cthulhu, which is a way you just lose the game on the spot. Of course, again, pandemic game, so if you run out of something and need to place it, you also lose. A lot of the typical things here with the pandemic system, fairly simple, fairly quick to play. A lot of different investigators in here and all the various actions, all that good stuff. It's kind of fallen off a little bit, though, just because there's such a limited selection of ancient ones. And I've really needed to find a new game for the play-in games for both the Summer of Lovecraft and Christmas in Arkham on my channel on a yearly basis. It won't be my number 20 game, though, Pandemic Reign of Cthulhu.
Very cool game. Didn't quite make my list this year, but I didn't play it in 2025. I did play it in 2024. It was on my list in 2024. Just fall off just because I didn't get around to playing it. And I think it's a great game. I really like this one. I should get it out and play it. Would be awesome.
You've been saying that about a lot of games on my list.
I say that about a lot of games, and then I look at my review at the end of 2025, and I find out that I did 647 games. So where are all the games that I play? My number 20 is a very lightweight Euro game. If you're looking for a very fun, filling game, it only takes maybe 20 to 25 minutes to play. It's very lighthearted. It's all score-based. You're trying to get as high a score as you can at the end of the game. And it's very well liked in the community. It's a game called Cascadia. Every time you play, you're going to be playing with the same 5 different animals: the elk, the bear, the hawk, the salmon, and the fox. And each of those animals will score differently based on how they're put out. So you're always trying to min-max how you're scoring the game. And as you progressing through, like I've got to draw a tile, and it's like each of the tiles is matched up with an animal. So if I was to get this fox here, I'd have to take this half mountain, half forest. Well, if I don't have an area to put the half mountain, half forest area, could be bad. So I might want to choose this one. This is a half mountain, half water. This might be better, but maybe I don't want a fox. So there's all these thoughts in your head about what's the best combination of the 4 that you can choose to add to your player board and get the most points at the end of the game. It's very, like I said, very light. You're only going to be taking 20 turns building your little tableau of animals and fishes, and like the salmon might score based on like you need to have 5 in a straight line, or you might score salmon by having bear next to them, or every game is different, and so you got to figure out how you get the animals to work the best together so you can get the highest score at the end of the game. Very simple, easy game to play and understand, and like I said, it's a very light filling game. Plays solo great. You're just taking 20 turns trying to score the highest points you can.
One I've seen off and
on. We got a couple in the chat here. Hello to everyone out there tonight. Brian, good to see you, my friend. Thanks for voting for me tonight on the challenge over there on Jerry's channel. I appreciate that. It was awesome. We also have Meandering Mike here as well. Meandering, good to see you. Richard Kerr's arrived. Richard, thanks, guys, for coming out. We do appreciate it. We're doing number 20 down to number 11 tonight. And then the big show will be Sunday night at 8 o'clock. The big 10 down to 1.
Indeed. And my number 19 game is the first of the new games on the list for this year. The simplest way I'd probably describe this game is calling it Space Aeon's End. And I'm talking about Astronauts by Andy Boards and Cards. And I'm surprised you didn't figure out as soon as I said Space Aeon's End. But
I was thinking, like, what game? Oh, yeah. And then it just hit me like a ton of bricks. Yep.
So you've got your various characters that are also known as Astronauts. There's a little bit of a campaign that goes with this game, and one of the expansions that comes with it, Astronauts Eternity, I want to say is the name of the expansion, but very similar to Aeon's End. You've got your boss you're taking on. They've got their own little deck, and a unique thing here is unlike in Aeon's End, the bosses actually level up here to where the bosses actually get a little bit get stronger, get harder to deal with. The minions also get harder to deal with, and each boss is set up a very different way. So you have to strategize not only what characters you bring to the game, but how you deal with everything in there, depending on the boss. My number 19 game, Astro Knights from Indie Boards and Cards.
Yeah, you can see as the boss here is leveling up, and every time they do, they get new special abilities and powers that can really mess you up. That's for sure. But lots of different characters, and yep, it is Aeon's Ends in Space. So if you like the Aeon End system, you might like this one for sure. We have a couple more arrivees. We have Cards and Dice with Dawn. Hello there. And we also have Pablo. Pablo, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. Thank you. All right, my number 19 of what I didn't get a chance to mention was Cascadia was number 33 last year. I did play it quite a bunch, so it moved up the list down to number 20. My number 19 was actually number 4 last year, so it's fallen a little bit, which is a big surprise for me because this game is awesome, great, and I think it's a top 10 game, and I cannot believe it didn't make it back in the top 10. I'm very shocked at this point. It's a game called Ark Nova, which is all about building your zoo and getting your animals to do things. And there's a ton of things going on in this game. You got conservation of the animals. You have different projects you're working on with different universities. Each of your animals has what country it's from and what kind of animal it is, which can help you try to score it in certain ways. And some of them come with their own special abilities. It has one of the greatest systems of cards. It's a card play system, but the cards are played face down, and there's a power ranking from 1 to 5. Whatever card you choose, whatever level that card is at, is the power ranking of that card. So you're always trying to use like the 5 or the 4, so you get the most value for your buck, but you doesn't prevent you from using any of the cards. It's just a great game with a great system with great production, and I think Ark Nova is now like the number 2. Yes, it's the number 2 board game of all time. It was my number 4 last year, and I did play this on Board Game Arena a couple times this year, but for some reason it just fell a few places down to number 19 this year.
And this one is a crossover. It was number 36 on my list.
I thought it was. I was going to ask you that. So,
my number 18 game is actually a game I traded with you for last year, and it's one I put on the channel a couple times last year, but I really enjoyed it. And this one is Gloom of Kilfirth by All or Nothing Productions. So this one's got you set in the world of Kilfirth. Gloom of Kilfirth, the fantasy quest game. That's the one you want. So this one's got you set in the world of Kilfirth. You're going through trying to go, you've got several different classes in here. You're going through trying to go through an adventure before the world falls into gloom. You've got to deal with your 3 parts of your saga, then eventually defeat an adversary somewhere. But again, you're on a strict 25 turn clock because that's how many cards that there are in the gloom deck. So you've got to beat the game before the world falls into gloom on you. If you're able to do that, you do win the game. And I've actually gotten the deluxe upgrades, which the location cards are normally poker-sized cards, but the upgraded cards are actually tarot-sized, so everything's a lot easier to manage with the deluxe upgrades. And my number 18 game, Gloom of Kilfirth.
Well, as you saw, as Phoenix was talking about this game, it has got some of the best artwork in any game in existence. The artwork is absolutely amazing in this game. So if you enjoy great looking games, Gloom, you're not going to find one better than Gloom of Kilforth. If I mean, as much as I didn't like the game, I kept it just for the artwork because it's that good. And then, as Phoenix mentioned, we ended up making some trades, so I will give it to him. Figured he would enjoy it as much as I did. That was your number 18, correct?
Was indeed.
My number 18 was number 7 last year. It fell down a little bit. And it is probably my number 1 game that I would tell Phoenixknight to get off his ass and get a copy of, because he will probably like this game if you were to play it, because it's right up your alley. You should know what game I'm talking about because I yell at you about this game all the time. Australia. It's all about Cthulhu and the Cthulhu mythology, which I know you don't like that, but it is basically a survival game, and you're trying to get resources. There's a big war element, which you're getting into wargaming, and this is a perfect opportunity to try it. You got all kinds of characters with special abilities. You're doing other things besides war, like this guy here. Like, you can earn victory points by having sheep farms. So you determine how you want to play the game based on, what characters come out and what's going to give you the most points at the end of the game. If you want to focus in on just killing enemies, if you want to focus in on getting the most farms out there. And it's got one of the best mechanisms in all of gaming anywhere, where the person's whose disc is farthest behind gets to go. So the ancient one starts at 20. So you basically have 20 different action points to use up before you pass his disc. And then he gets to go until he passes you. And then you get to go until you pass him. And then it's this big back and forth teeter-totter for the rest of the game. And it's so cool. And it's very thematic. It can be very punishing. It can be very easy, depending on how the things come out, because it's completely random setup at the beginning of the game. So I just think you would find a great narrative story in this game, and I know you're all about that N word, and I think you would really like this, and even with the theme.
I've looked off and on at this one, just never pulled the trigger on it.
I will say it is, it's not a mainstream game. So there's not a lot of copies out there. And, if you can find a copy, especially the big box edition, I would definitely try to grab you one, because it's got all the expansions and everything in it.
I'll see what I can do about tracking that down. My number 17, I'm going to have to go check laundry after this, by the way. My number 17 game actually gives off a lot of Ark Nova vibes, and I'm surprised that this one climbed as high as it did. I think the main reason it climbed as high as it did is because it's small, and it's actually got a cooperative aspect. It's actually a cooperative game. And you definitely went to the right world. Let's see if it's going to pop up for you here. You're going to have to scroll down for it.
Probably. There it is.
Yep, it is Disney animated by Funko Games. So very similar to Ark Nova, where you've got the same action selection system in here, but your goal is to make some of the classic Disney movies with the villains of said movies harassing you at every turn. So you've got to put your background down, get your characters out, and eventually get the villain in the movie. So you have to put the background down. Then you need to take ink and paint to get all of the paint for the characters you need. You also need the specific animation cards to make the movie, to make sure the villains are able to go down. And funnily enough, I've actually started working my way through watching the movies that are in the Disney animated game. The only one I haven't gotten to yet is Fantasia, but working my way through those. And my number 17, Disney animated.
Yep, really good system, really fun game, completely underrated game. I got this and was surprised how much fun it was. I told you about it. You went out and bought a copy, and it was on your channel like 3 times in the year, or maybe even more. I don't know. It was quite a few times you had played it.
At least 2, I know that.
Yeah, the only downside is it comes with 4 or 5 different films.
5.
5. It's 5.
Yeah.
And I wish there'd be more, more things, give you more options, more things to do, because each of the films play differently and have different special abilities and character arcs and things like that. But yeah, it's awesome system.
And while you go through your number 17, I will go turn my laundry.
You go. I will talk about this one for a long time. My number 17 is one of the greatest games of all time. It was number 28 last year. I played it a bunch on my channel. It plays great solo. It plays great with other people, but it is the Marvel deck building game system. The system has been used for so many variations. It's almost like Dominion in deck building. The Legendary game system has been incorporated into maybe 20 or 30 other games that I can think of off the top of my head. Legendary Aliens, Legendary James Bond. Once you get to know the Legendary system, there's so many different things you can play. But in this edition, it's all about the Marvel characters: Spider-Man, Iron Man, Hawkeye, Black Widow, Captain America, Hulk. Each of them come with a 14 card deck. There are like 6 or 8 commons. Well, and then there are like 5 uncommons and then 1 rare card. And each of them have their own special abilities on it, which change how the game plays. And you're like completely setting up the villain. There's tons of different villains. Each of the villains can be added different henchmen, and they can also be added different schemes to try and do. So the variability in this game is through the roof. So one time you might want to take, let's say Doctor Doom, and you use one scheme, and then you can use Doctor Doom with a different scheme, and he would play completely different. There's a lot of great things with this. It's all not random setup, but it's kind of like building things as you go. Like you're choosing 5 different characters to put in your character deck. You're taking 3 different henchmen group and building that into your villain stack, along with a bunch of other cards the villain comes with. And so every game you play is like a new mystery as you're trying to deck build through the Legendary system. It's so much fun. I love this, and as I talked about, it's just expanded through Legendary, Marvel Legendary, into Aliens, into James Bond, into what is that show with Kurt Russell? The movie China, the China movie.
Big Trouble in Little China.
Big Trouble in Little China. There's a version of Legendary for that. It's just an amazing game, an amazing system, and I highly recommend you check it out. There's so much variability, some things, every scenario. Like I said, you're building the scenario as you go, and that's half the fun. Is like randomizing and drawing 2 scenarios and going, let's play this one. Oh yeah, that's great. I love this game. And it's up from number 28 down to 17, and it's probably going to get in the top 10 next year.
I don't think I've ever played a legendary game before.
Really?
Really?
Wow. Yeah. I mean, now that you say it, I don't remember ever seeing them on your channel. That's true.
Not even off the channel. I haven't played a legendary off the channel either. Just never really crossed my radar.
Well, I would say the one downside, if you're thinking about getting into it, is there is a solo mode, but it kind of changes the game. I would rather play it 2-handed, which is what I do. I just play 2-handed because you're taking a turn, you're doing all the actions, boom, 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 and then the game works against you, and then you take the other character. So there's not much interaction between the characters. So it plays fine 2 or 3 4-handed. I just run it 2-handed and it plays great. The question, hang on, before you get to that, the question in the chat is, can you mix different legendary games from different IPs? That's a great question, and no, because each of them plays slightly different. Like the Matrix ones, it's all about trying to get the clues so you can get through the mystery, which you couldn't add to the Aliens one. So each individual legendary one has got its own theme to play. So if you want to play through like the Alien movies, you can play through the movies, but you would only be able to use that one box. That's a great question, though.
I know Warfighter, you've been able to mix stuff like crazy, but I've bounced hard off Warfighter.
Yeah, Private Public says, I rate Legendary Encounters Alien the best. Legendary Encounters Aliens is very highly rated because it's very thematic and it does a great job of using the Legendary system to let you play through the Legendary Alien movies. So
probably also obscenely expensive if I had to guess.
They're not as bad as you would think. Most of them aren't. I've actually got 2 copies of Legendary myself with several of the expansions because I picked them up on Noble Knight for like $30 or something very cheap.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, my number 16 game I think we're on to now.
Oh, that's true. One other comment. Sorry, Phoenix. Private is saying is they're also working on a DC version now. Yeah, that is absolutely true.
Interesting. Anyway, now my number 16 game is actually a flip and write about building a 1950s style suburb. It's up 6 spots on my list, and yep, Jester's going right for it. It's Welcome To by Blue Cocker Games. Like I mentioned, it's a flip and write where you've got to manage your numbers, your effects, trying to make whatever city plan you've got. So there's an effect of building a park. You can build pools, temp agencies to help manipulate your numbers, give you some mitigation, making your estate sizes stronger. And you can also repeat numbers, but that costs you victory points at the end of the game. So you've got to be very careful about how you use that. The adaptation on Board Game Arena is actually very well done for this one, and it's a very enjoyable game. My number 16, Welcome To, up 6 spots.
I love this game. Absolutely love this game. What was mine rated at? I think I've already done mine. Let me see. Wait, okay. Number 95 actually. It was my number 95. Ooh, wow, I didn't think it would be that low. As much as I love this game, it's only number 95. Wow. Okay.
Well, you also play how many games a year?
A lot. 600 and some.
Yeah, exactly.
My number, Welcome To is a great game. Check it out, people. It's a very easy game. Plays very quickly. 25-minute game. It's a great filler game. And you can play it on Board Game Arena as well. Which is you go to games and you can see Welcome To is like my second last game that I played on there. It's awesome. So check it out. Definitely. What number are we on? 16? My number 16. Well, you kind of talk about it is the space version. I'm going to talk about the original fantasy version. The game, of course, I'm talking about is Aeon's End. Here we go. This is the deck building game for the 2020s. Like, this is about you're not shuffling your deck. As you're discarding cards, you're putting your cards in your discard pile in a certain order because at the end of your turn, and you need to refresh your deck. You're just going to take your deck and flip it over so you can kind of put the cards that you need to work together. And as the space version, you're running around trying to use your mages with their special abilities and get spells and items you can deck build bigger and better things into your deck so you can defeat the enemies. It's a boss battler. It is a great system. It was my number 6 last year. It's fallen down a little bit. Just haven't played it as much as I used to. Just because it is kind of a bear to set up and keeping track of everything as a solo player. You plays fine solo. Don't get me wrong. It plays absolutely 100% fine solo. It's just managing it solo is a little bit of work because you got several characters you need to run. You can't just use one character. You can't play it true solo. So you got to two-handed it, which means you're constantly working with two characters, using their abilities, using their powers, using their different special abilities, trying to get them to work together. It has probably one of the greatest initiative systems ever, where you take the enemy and you take the characters and you're shuffling them up into a deck and then you're flipping them up. And so it's random every single time. The enemy can come out and the enemy can come out again. And instantly, before you get to do anything, you're under attack by the enemy. Or you can take all your characters and then the enemy goes last. And then at the end of the round, you shuffle everything and then the enemy gets to go again. So it's completely chaos. It's insane, but it's so much fun. It's a great system. It's just fallen down a little bit for me just because of lack of time to play this one. There is an online Steam version that you can get and play, which plays great. And I would highly recommend you check that out if you're looking for Aeon's End digitally. But board game version is kind of a bigger mess, but it's very doable. It's been on my channel several times, and I will probably keep coming back to this one every year. It's a great game.
I've alluded to this when I talked about Aeon's End a few episodes, or Aeon's End Legacy a few episodes ago. But another good thing is about that game, the custom magi that you build in that campaign, you can use them in your games of Aeon's End.
So that's right. That's absolutely true.
And I should know because those are they're usually the magi I feature when I put this game on my channel. Those two are specifically built to work with each other.
Yes.
Anywho,
yes. Yep.
Anywho, my number 15 game is actually down 11 spots. This is my number 4 game for a couple of years, for at least 2 incarnations of this list running. This one is one of my first Euro games, and I tend to be very picky about my Euros. This one is Terra Mystica by Feuerland Spiel. This is kind of the game that got me, obviously, this is the game that got me started in the whole world of Terra Mystica, where you're building up your civilizations. You've got to transform the various terrains into whatever living spaces that your faction wants. I was searching for the word there. You're always engaged because you've got to keep an eye on what everybody's doing with their powers, with their constructions, because you might be gaining power, you might be needing to take certain actions, and of course, as you move further and further up the favor tracks, you've got your various your cult tracks, you've got your favor tiles to help move up those, and sometimes bonuses on those depending on what tiles are out. The main reason it's fallen down for me a little bit is because the cult tracks are very generic. They're static. They're always the same thing. And the favor tiles don't really change anything in terms of in the game. You might only change what you take among those, but otherwise it's largely the same game once you've played it through. My number 15 game, Terra Mystica.
Yep, that was a crossover game actually, and mine was number 90. I just saw it a minute ago. Mine was number 94. So it was a crossover game with me. I was pretty sure we were going to see this one again. And I agree with everything you said. It's for me, it's a love or hate relationship. I love this game. The game hates me. I can never score well in it, and I always lose. And so it's very frustrating to play this game. All right. Every year in January 1st, I do a review show on what happened in the previous year. And I talk about what all the games we played, all the new games, and all blah, blah, blah. And then we come up with goals for the next year. And one of the things we do is we announce which game we're going to learn and play as kind of the game of the year, not as like, voting it like game of the year. It's like our game that we're learning to play. This year,
Your game of the year is probably going to kill you this year.
it's going to kill me. It's Hopomachus Victorum, right? So we're going to get that game. We're going to try and get that to the channel like maybe 4 or 5 times through the year, play through some of the scenarios and do all the fun stuff. Last year, it was my game in this spot, number 15, and it was called Darkest Night. And there we go. So I decided to play Darkest Night because it has a ton of different characters that you can play. There's a rogue, a priest, a wizard, a druid, a prince, a seer. There's just an immense amount of different content. I think there's 29 different characters. And the game is basically just a grid of 6 different spaces on the board. You have a monastery, and then you have 5 other locations that the bad guy can go to, the necromancer, and the game basically works against you. So as a solo player, the downside with this game is, yes, you have to run all 4 characters. If you're playing with multiple people, each player can run 1 character, and it's great. There's all kinds of different blights, which are the enemies and how the game works against you. And each of the characters has their own set of 10 cards. Of those 10 cards, each character has 4 starter cards. Of those 4, you choose 3, then shuffle your deck up. And so you get to decide what cards you're starting with and ready to go and play with. So you can kind of fine tune your character right off the bat. It's a great game, a great system. There is a first edition, and then there is a second edition. The second edition is extremely great production, but it's extremely expensive compared to the first edition. I picked up last year, 2 years ago, I picked up knowing that going into 2025, I was going to use this game as my game of the year. I wanted to get a new version with all the bells and whistles. I ended up buying like the first edition with all the expansions for like $30, $35, $40. It was pretty cheap. The second edition is way more expensive, but the production quality is way higher through the roof. So depending on your budget and what you're looking for, you might want to look at the first edition or the second edition. Tons of variability with the different characters, with the special abilities, and check out the playthroughs if you're interested in this one. I know you bounced off of this one, though.
Yeah, I did. And I was looking at this a little bit earlier, and I think I'm starting to understand one of the main reasons I bounced off of this one. Well, there are 2 main reasons I bounced off this one. One is that the map is static, so that didn't help me anything at all. Number 2, this game felt, the couple times I played it before I bounced off of it, it felt a little bit like a slog to me, where you know what you need for quests, but you can easily go the entire game without seeing anything you need. So I think those 2 in combination kind of made me bounce off of it.
Yep, I think the last time I played this in 2025, I played through half a game and said, okay, I'm done. Packed it up and put it away, because it just got to the point where it was just like, there was no way to win. We weren't getting anything. The enemies were all over the place, and it would have taken me 4 hours to try and come back. And I'm like, I'm not going to waste 4 hours.
And I think
I can understand why people get very frustrated with this game. I can understand it completely. Yep.
And I think that's a problem too, and why I like Gloom of Kilforth so much more, because there's a set clock with Gloom of Kilforth. You got the 25 turns in the deck, and when that deck's empty, game's over, you lose.
Absolutely.
Anywho, once again, not trying to rain on your parade with your games.
No, I wouldn't have you here if I didn't want your opinion, sir. That's why you're here, to give me your opinion.
My number 14 game, I'm kind of cheating because I'm putting a pair of games that are basically functionally identical to each other in the same spot. They are up 3 spots on my list from number 17 in 2024. This game is Star or Hero Realms. You can look up either Star Realms or Hero Realms. Let's make sure you get the right one. There we go. Star Realms. So these two games are by Wise Wizard Games, where you've essentially got your life, your trade, your combat, I forget what the other resource is in trade, combat, life, or actually it's authority in Star Realms. You've got bases. You've got your bases that can either be outpost bases or just regular bases. Hero Realms will essentially work the exact same way. It's just with the fantasy code of paint is all that is. So a lot of that. So it all depends on what theme you want with it, whether you want a fantasy theme or you want a space theme to it. This one's also very good for an introduction to deck builders, because it's really a good place to start with deck builders, and there's a lot of content with both of these games as well. The solo mode for Star Realms is a challenge mode that comes in Frontiers. Hero Realms has a couple of campaigns that come with it. But my number 14 game, Star and Hero Realms.
Yeah, really fun games, really fun, and with this solo expansion you talked about, you can play through it's like a campaign type story thing, right?
For Hero Realms, it is. Star Realms
for Hero Realms, right? Yeah, and I've played the Star Realms digitally. I just haven't. I bought the cards, but I just don't think it's a great solo game, so I just don't play it. A great system. It's just you need to either play somebody or play digitally, I think. All right. We're down to number 14, which was my number 11. So it's down 3 spots. 2 years ago, it was my number 2. 2 years ago, number 2. So it's fallen a little bit down the list. And the reason for that is because it is a monster Euro game. And it is Arkham Horror, which is, I love this game to death. Richard Launius is a great designer. I own most of the games that he's ever created. This is his big breakout game. It's one of the greatest games in board game history, and for me, it'll go down as probably, if I only had one game that I could play for the rest of my life, this would probably be the game that I would choose. If I could only have one game with all the expansions, I should say with all the expansions. It is super fun. It is unfortunately dropped down a little bit because the older I get, the harder it is to manage 4 characters or 3 characters. Yes, you can play with 1 or 2 characters, but the game wasn't designed around playing 1 or 2 characters. So I always play with 4 because that's the way the game was designed. So I always try to play with 4. And the base game is fine. It's when you start adding in all the expansions, the Dunwich. You have Dunwich, and if we go to expansions, you will see it is a massive list of expansions for this game.
A lot of that,
and each of them is kind of expensive now too. So they're not cheap additions anymore. Like Innsmouth here is going for, let's see, scroll down here, $225. So yeah, it's expensive to get all the expansions, but I'm sorry,
pricey.
Very pricey. Yeah, people gouge you left and right if they know you want something very badly. And I would love to have. I have a whole second edition. There's like one expansion that I just haven't broke down to get because it's like $400. But the game plays great. It plays against you, so you can play it solo, 2-handed, 3-handed, 4-handed, play it with 3 people, play it with 4 people, whatever. It is a sprawling mess. If you add in everything, if you add in all the expansions and everything, you will have an epic game, but you're talking like 6 or 8 hours plus 2 hours to set up. So good luck on that.
Yeah.
And that's the reason it's fallen down from number 2 just a couple years ago, just because the older I get, the less time I want to fess around with characters and running into problems and space requirements and everything else. So I love this game to death. It's always going to probably be in my top 20 of all time. Arkham Horror, specifically the first or second edition or revised edition, whatever they want to call it. We're not talking about the third edition at all, which is horrible.
Yeah, I actually done a 3-way review between second edition, third edition, and Eldritch, and suffice it to say, I was diplomatic, but not real happy with third edition either. Anywho,
Yeah, I wouldn't figure you would be.
my number 13 game is down 7 spots, so this is another one that's kind of fallen out of my top 10. This is actually by Simon, which is also a company I've had some fun in games with recently, but seems like things have settled down with them. This one's a change of pace from Mansions of Madness if you want to punch the Ancient One in the mouth instead of running away from the Ancient One. And you've got way too many M's in there for what we're looking for here.
I see that. It's my keyboard's going crazy, I think. What the hell? Come on.
Either your keyboard's going crazy, or I was going to say maybe you had the M held down there. But we are looking for Cthulhu, Death May Die by Simon. Like I mentioned, this is similar to Mansions of Madness in that you've got a team of investigators going through a story. Your goal here is to stop the Ancient One from waking up. Well, not necessarily stop the Ancient One from waking up. It's actually to disrupt the ritual and then punch the Ancient One in the mouth. But you've got to be careful on when you lose the game, because if you have your investigators bite it, if you have an investigator bite it before the Ancient One wakes up, you lose. If the Ancient One's woken up, you have to go through, defeat everybody. And yes, there's an epic episode with the giant Cthulhu statue, which you probably saw when we were talking about Fate of the Elder Gods. Actually, it was either Fate of the Elder Gods or Horrified World of Monsters talking about Cthulhu. That I do have the giant Cthulhu statue for this one as well. So it's very modular, where you take your Ancient One, you take your scenario, you mix them together, and hey, you've got your scenario from that. There's a lot of replayability because of that. In my number 13 game, Cthulhu, Death May Die.
Yes, and it is a crossover game. Mine was, let's see if I can find it.
Fairly early in the list, if I recall.
Yeah, I think it's back a ways. Cthulhu, Death May Die was number 92. So you did my number 92 and my number 94.
And your number 95 from the looks of it.
Oh, what was number 95? 95 was Welcome to. Yep, you're right. A lot of my 90s coming through today. All right. It's a great game, and it's got this very interesting mechanism where you keep your characters keep going insane, but the more insane they go, the more powerful they get. So you want them to go insane, but you don't want them to go too insane.
You want them to go a little bit insane, not completely.
A little bit, yeah, because the farther they go up this track, the more special abilities they get. And yeah, it's kind of an interesting mechanism. And I do love the modularity of this one, though, for sure. All right, my number 13, right? Yes,
Yep,
number 13 was number 3 last year. So just like Arkham Horror Second Edition that dropped a little bit, this game is dropped this year a little bit, down from number 3 to 13. Still a great game. I just started playing a lot of its brothers more than it, just because the brothers were newer. And the game, of course, I'm talking about is Wingspan. So I've been playing a lot of Finspan, and I've also been playing a lot of Wormspan, which takes away from the Wingspan. So it's dropped down a little bit. I still played this quite a few times in 2025. This is about the birds. So the theme just it's fine. I don't mind birds. It's not my favorite thing. I don't go bird watching or anything like that. But I mean, I like birds, and birds are cool. My wife has this little app when we do walks around the park and stuff. We listen to the birds, and then she tells me what kind of birds there are. So, I mean, birds are fine. It's all about the tableau deck building that you're doing with your different birds that you put out. Each of them has special abilities. And then when you activate that column of birds, then you activate each of those birds in order and getting resources or getting more cards or getting more cards to play or whatever. It has a great solo mode. Then it also has a very terrible solo mode. The Asia expansion adds a new solo mode that I don't like at all. So I just use the base solo mode, which is fine. The AI works against you, takes away cards. So you have to plan out your turns. It's a pretty quick playing game. Tons of different resources that you need for your different birds. It's a great looking game, as you can tell by the artwork. If you're a bird lover, you get the different eggs to put on the birds. Each of the birds, again, has their own special abilities. Depending on where the bird goes, it'll tell you where it can go. And you're just trying to, 4 rounds, you're trying to score as many points as you can for that round. So one round might be birds in your wetlands that have an egg. So you would get 1 point, or you would have 1 point, and then whoever has the most points wins the round, and you get a certain amount of points for that. So you're trying to achieve different things, but you're also building for the future, trying to get those points as well. So it's a little tableau deck building thing with great artwork and super fun. And it's probably rated very highly by the community, number 38 of all time. So Wingspan is my number, lucky 13.
I've not had a pleasant history with Wingspan. Mechanics and theme just really have not done anything for me on this one. And that's all I'll say about that. Anyway, moving on to my number 12 game. This one's up 2 spots from when I did the list in 2024. If you're familiar with Christmas in Arkham, you'll know that this is the last game of the campaign. I'm talking about Elder Sign by Fantasy Flight. So set in the Arkham horror files. This one, you're running around Miskatonic Museum trying to deal with the Ancient One there. Probably the easiest way to describe this game is Cthulhu Yahtzee. So you've got specialized dice. They are trying to match the symbols on the adventures. And there are mitigation methods for this one. You can focus dice as you need to. There's also spells that you can secure them to. And you're going around against the Ancient Ones, where you've got to get the Doom to you've got to get the Elder Signs to seal the Ancient Ones away. You've got all your other worlds. You got the clock, which is a unique kind of turn mechanic. But again, you're just running around Miskatonic Museum trying to deal with the Ancient One. In my number 12 game, Elder Sign, the one caveat is it can be a little bit of a short game depending on just how well everything goes for you. My number 12, Elder Sign by Fantasy Flight. And you're looking for it as a crossover, aren't you?
It is not a crossover. It is actually my 215 game. Didn't quite make my list. This is another game by, guess what? Richard Lonius, which I've already talked about, which I love, and I own all of his games. Although I'm not a big fan of this one. It's a great game, don't get me wrong. It's just I would rather play like the normal Arkham Horror, which we just talked about. Like, if I want to play this, yes, this is a light version of that. But for me, I would rather, if you're going to play it, just play the full version. That's just my take on it. But if you don't want to play the full version, this is a great substitute. But for me, it just doesn't work as much as I would have liked. There's other things I'm not going to get into. Let's just say that. Okay.
Fair enough.
My number 11 game. I'm sorry, my number 12 game. We're on number 12. Yes, number 12. My number 12 game, I can guarantee next time me and Phoenixknight do our list together, whether it's next year or 2 years or whenever he decides to come back on my channel and do this with me, I can almost 100% guarantee that this game will be on his top 100 list because He's already played it several times. He really, really likes it. He's picked up a bunch of the expansions for it already. Do you know which game I'm talking about?
I have a feeling. That's what I thought.
Yep. Marvel United is my number 12. It's up from number 19. I played it quite a bit this year. I was showing it off to Phoenix because he wasn't sure about it. I wanted to kind of show off what it can do. And yes, it's a very simplistic system, but there's a lot of actual strategy that goes into how you play the cards because it has this mechanism where your characters are supposed to help one another. So you get to use your card and the card you played in front of you. So you kind of like get like a double bonus. And so you're playing cards that are like, if I spend a move and an attack, then when you play your card, you can play an attack and another attack. So you can move and then attack and then attack and then attack. So, you're doing all these cool combinations. There is a ton of different characters. Each of the characters has their own 15 card deck. It's not very big, 10, 12, 15 cards. I'm not sure how many there are. There's a bunch of different villains you can play against. They have their own special decks of there's going to be 6 locations out on the board. Each of the locations will have a threat against you. So when you go to different locations, you might have to deal with enemies to fight, or there are bystanders you need to rescue. And the main goal of the whole game is to use your characters to complete 3 quests. The first quest you complete means that the villain will now activate after every 2 characters. The second time you complete a quest, you can then damage the villain. And the third time you complete a quest, you get to each draw a card, which can be super powerful because the cards are your life. So if you lose all your cards, you're out, or your character gets knocked down in this game. When you add in all of the expansions, and I'm telling you, there's probably 50 different expansions in this one, there's tons of variability in this game. So World War Hulk version, there's a Black Panther version, there's a Civil War version, each of them with their own characters and their own things to do. It is a hog of a game, but it's super cool. Very light. It's a light Euro game and just a fun 30 to 40 minute game, and you can get a whole game in and play it again. So it's pretty cool. And I shouldn't mention this, but I will. In the file section, there is a ultimate campaign map, which you can let's see, can you actually see? You cannot see it because it brings up a different window, but there's a campaign map that'll help you play through like a campaign, and there's like over 1,000 different scenarios in that campaign. So that's the wrong one. So let me close out that. All right. So Marvel United, my number, where are we? 12. Yep.
Yeah, this will probably be on my list next time I come back to the top 100.
I think it will.
My number 11 is the highest ranked new game I've got on the list this year. This one came out from a Kickstarter. I think this came in mid last year, and I did get it to the channel a couple of times toward the end of the year. This one is Valkyrie, a Black Orchestra game by Tabletop Tycoon. Keep spelling out Valkyrie.
VALC. Okay.
Like Ride of the Valkyries.
Valkyrie 2024.
Valkyrie, a Black Orchestra game.
Oh, there you are. Yep.
That's the one. So if you're familiar with Black Orchestra, this is a compressed version of the game where, just like in the original, you're trying to assassinate Hitler with the Gestapo harassing you at every turn. But unlike regular Black Orchestra, this one is a much compacted version. You've got Berlin, of course. You've got some of the locations. The difference here from Black Orchestra, though, is that in this one you actually need to draw. You actually need to find an item in the items located at each location to actually gain access to be able to do the plot, rather than advance your motivation like you'll have in Black Orchestra to resolve the game. And the deputies are actually take a little bit more of a passive role in this game, where they're only going to come in and harass you. Well, I shouldn't say they'll only harass you when you're trying to do a plot, because you can be forced to draw an event if you start your turn in a space with at least one of them. So again, but you've also got the allies that you can put out to help you in your quest to assassinate Hitler, whether it's by giving you a direct effect, or maybe they neutralize one of the deputies, whether it's Goebbels or Himmler, that they neutralize while you're out on the board and going for an assassination plot. My number 11 game, Valkyrie, a Black Orchestra game.
I don't own it, so I don't have anything I can say about it. It's I played the big one with you, Black Orchestra.
Yep.
But I've not tried this little one. I'd like to try it at some point. So maybe it can make my list too, because I like the system.
Well,
my number 11 is going to be a crossover game. I think you've already done this one. It's Final Girl.
Yep.
Yep. So it's all about the horror movie cliches and recreating those in board game. And you buy a core box called Final Girl, and then you buy all the little expansions. They're on season 4 or something now.
I think season 4 is on Kickstarter right now.
Yeah, it's on Kickstarter right now. And each season has like 10 or 12 different movies that you play through. So you got like a Terminator one. You have one that's like Freddy Krueger. You have one that's like Jason. You have one that's like the Poltergeist. So you're playing through all of these 80s, 90s, 2000 horror movies with the Final Girl, which is represented, by the lead heroine that comes in and saves the day by defeating the big baddie at the end of the game. It is dice-driven, card-driven playthrough. You're doing this, so there's some dice rolling you're going to have to do. But I love how each of the scenarios are different. Each of the villains are different. Each of the final girls are different. You're running around trying to save them. Every time you save one, you get to put them on your map, or you're on your little character card and get a little bonus. There's this little wheel here, which, depending on how much you're in fear for your life or how happy you are, you'll get to either roll 3 dice, 2 dice, or 1 dice to try and complete different tests. You're also using cards to be able to do things. You can't just say, I'm going to walk over here. No, you have to use a walk card, and then you have to roll to be successful with that to actually do anything. So it's the whole premise is based on the horror of what's going on and you wanting to do things, but you can't do it. There's different items at different locations. Every time is different. The setup of the board is different every time. Even the villain powers are different every time. So there's so much replayability. If you were to play this Final Girl with this villain and this board, it would be completely different every single time. And like I said, you randomize how many items are in different locations and the setup, and it's just complete chaos. It's not like, oh, I've played this scenario before. It's great fun, and I would highly recommend you check it out. My number 11 is Final Girl, which is actually up 1 spot because it was number 12 last year. What was it for you, Phoenix? Probably like 30 or something?
It was 43 for me this year.
43. I know it's been a couple episodes since I heard you talk about it. You like this one a lot too, don't you?
Yeah.
Have anything else to say about it?
Not particularly.
Okay. All right, that's fine. So we'll go ahead and rehash. Don't forget, Sundays are big episode 10 down to number 1. It'll be the last show for 2026. So come on down Sunday and join us at 8 o'clock here on the channel. Let's rehash what we talked about today, because these, of course, are some of the best games that you will find anywhere in existence. My number 20 was a very light Euro game called Cascadia.
Mine was Pandemic Reign of Cthulhu.
My number 19 was Ark Nova, down from number 4. It's still a great game. I love it, but man.
The first of my new games in this group was my number 19, Astronauts.
My number 18 was down from number 7. A great game that I think Phoenixknight would enjoy if he ever could get his hand on a copy. Australia.
My number 18 was Gloom of Kilfirth by All or Nothing Productions.
With the best art in any game in existence, in my opinion. My number 17 is Legendary, a Marvel deck building game, up from number 28.
Mine is another new game, Disney animated by Funko Games.
Great game. I love that. Surprise game, actually. Came out of nowhere for both of us. My number 16 is down from number 6, Aeon's End.
Excuse me. My number 16 is Welcome to, up 6 spots from number 22.
Yeah, you had a lot of good ones this time. Number 15 is up from number 42 because we played it a lot. It was our 2025 Game of the Year to learn and play, Darkest Night.
Mine number 15 was Terra Mystica.
My number 14 was down from number 11. One of the greatest games, and if I could only have one game and all their expansions to live on a desert island, it would be this one, Arkham Horror, first edition or / revised edition.
My number 14 was a pair of games from Wise Wizard Games, up 3 spots, Star and Hero Realms.
My number 13 is down from number 3. It made it all the way up to number 3 last year, Wingspan.
My number 13 was Cthulhu Death May Die by Simon.
My number 12 is up from number 19. We played it a lot. We showed it off on the channel for Phoenix. He loves it as well. It's Marvel United.
My number 12 is Elder Sign by Fantasy Flight.
And my number 11, a crossover game, up from number 12. Up from number 12. One spot, Final Girl. Great game, great system, a lot of fun.
My number 11 is, we're on number 12 or number 11 right now?
We are on number 11.
Okay, my number 11 is the highest new game on my list, Valkyrie, a Black Orchestra game by Tabletop Tycoon.
Awesome. So, as they say, we're down to 1. There's 1 show left. We've done 9, 1 to go. And, of course, it's the big boy.
Yep.
10 down to 1. You're going to see next week what our number 1 game in our 2026 edition is. If you have any thoughts about what game it might be for myself or Phoenixknight, leave them in the comments section on this video. And before next episode, we will talk about any comment that's in there talking about what game people think are going to be my number 1 game or, again, Phoenixknight's number 1 game. We've gone through a lot of games that we love. A lot of you guys know us really well. You know what kind of games we like. You know what games we play on our channels a lot. If you haven't seen them, it might be our number 1 game of all time. So looking forward to having everyone out on Sunday night at 8 o'clock. We're going to wear our best tuxedos, and we're going to have a great time talking about it.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I guess not. We should have a big award show. A big award show.
No.
Like the Oscars, red carpet, the whole kit and caboodle, I think.
No,
it's not that. It's my Super Bowl, man. I got to make a big ordeal about it.
You do. I'm just here for the ride.
All right. So Sunday, 8 o'clock. Looking forward to it. Phoenix, try and take a nap ahead of time so you're wide awake and ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks to Pablo and Thomas and Meandering Mike and BR Yang. Oh, it's Brian. It's Brian. Wait a minute. I'm like BR Yang. It's the way it's separated. It's weird. It's also the fact that I can't see. Private Public, thanks for coming out. Appreciate all your comments as well, Meandering Mike. Good job, my friend. Cards and Dice with Dawn, thanks for stopping by. We do appreciate it. Richard Kerr, everyone that came by, we do appreciate it. Again, if you have a thought about what our games are going to be, you want to put it on the record, leave a comment on this video, and we'll talk about it on Sunday at 8 o'clock. Looking forward to it. Sorry about the start late. Late start
time.
Late start time. Thank you. That's what I meant to say tonight. But I had a great time over on Cardboard Commanders channel. Make sure you check that out. Phoenix, now is your spiel. You got your spiel? It's your spiel time.
We're gonna be busy on the channel this weekend. So tomorrow night we're continuing my 2001 season replay and payoff pitch baseball as we're headed to Yankee Stadium in the Big Apple, where the Anaheim Angels will be playing the New York Yankees. Lou Cody will be going for the Angels against Sterling Hitchcock for the Yankees. Saturday, Mystical Munchies will continue out of the Cooking with Deadpool cookbook as we're making the side, Boxing Day bread. Sunday morning, we're playing Bowl-O-Rama by Play Games. And Wednesday next week, we're back to varied content on the channel as we'll be playing Super Boss Monster by Brotherwise Games.
Tuxedo shirts. There you go. So yep, got a lot on the channel. We've got a lot coming up on my channel as well. We've got some announcements. We're probably going to be doing some videos on that. And we've got a couple people putting their comments out already. We'll say that Private Public says it's going to be D-Day Dice and Sentinels will be up there. And we also have Thomas Harkless saying, nice show. Yours will be the superheroes game. Well, there's several superhero games. I need a little bit more information on which superhero game you're talking about because there's several out there. Anyways, nice show, Phoenix. Thank you for your information and your help tonight. So looking forward to Sunday. Everyone out there, thank you so much. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you guys then.
See you guys.